Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to Home Park, where Argyle take on Ipswich Town in a game where we can say goodbye to Paul Mariner.
That's a good ball. And the referee's played advantage, and it could be number 2. 1 minute in ordinary time. Burrows takes the free kick. Comes across, a little flick. Yes!
I mean, to score the goal that takes you up is the crowd coming on the field, and you know, the whole 9 yards afterwards. It was, you know, that's what you do all your training.
Oh, goal! Yes, Mariner it is!
The legend that is Paul Mariner, who died earlier this year, a man who meant so much to both Argyle and Ipswich Town. Today's fixture is dedicated in his memory, so there will be a minute's applause and a visual display around the ground ahead of kick-off as the fans and the clubs, the players and officials all remember the great man. On to matters on the pitch for this afternoon. We've got a great game to look forward to here on Argyle TV. Argyle are currently top of Sky Bet League One, which we like to see, but Ipswich Town side also very much on form. So we're going to be bringing you team news. We'll hear from manager Ryan Lowe and preview the game in a moment. So, as we've been saying, there is an outside bet on promotion this season, a long way to go, but the Greens have started brilliantly. Their unbeaten run in the league has continued this weekend with a 1-1 draw away to Morecambe. Let's have a look at their best bits now. So 14 unbeaten for Argyle now, and with Wigan losing to Lincoln in the week, the Pilgrims have stayed top of the table. Heading into today's game though, manager Ryan Lowe knows it's going to be another test for his players against another big name in the division. Right, you're up next.
That's why we wanted to be in this league, innit? I don't think Ipswich want to be in this league. They want to be in the one above. So do we. They're in this league because they are. They're now picking up, which I knew they would start. They've got a fantastic squad, they've got a fantastic manager, and they're picking up where they should be. But ultimately, you know, we're doing what we're doing as well. So yeah, it's probably going to be for an entertaining game. I think they've scored 29 goals to our 26, and so both teams are scoring goals. They've conceded 22 and we've conceded 13. So it bodes well for a good football match. I think the way Paul sets his teams up, the way they want to go about their business is how football should be played. And that's certainly how we go about our business as well. So yeah, really looking forward to an entertaining game against two good teams and two fantastic football clubs.
And we've seen here this season already against the so-called big hitters in the league that we've done all right against them.
Yeah, but look, people have called their own clubs big hitters and not so big hitters, and small clubs big clubs. We don't look at it like that. We respect every club that comes to home park and respect every club who we go on the road and travel to, because it's important you do that. But in the same sentence, we don't fear them, because we want to go toe to toe with these teams and these clubs. And people will argue about bigger budgets and less budgets. It don't really matter. It's a game of 11v11 and whatever the best team do the best things most of the time win. But it's two clubs locking on to get 3 points. I don't know how many Ipswich have brought, but they're going to want to tell them numbers, because they do. We've had our support, and a lot of people have been telling me they haven't been for 10 years, ironically enough. I wonder why, but people are coming now and watching and knowing what we're doing and how we're doing it, and that the place is bouncing. But we can't get carried away. I know the expectations will rise through the roof, which is fine, and fans are allowed to do that. We have to keep our expectations level-headed and keep going about our business the way we have been, and it'll be nice to see a full packed home park on Saturday afternoon.
Well, we are certainly expecting a big crowd today. 16,000 is the number that's been floated about. Everyone that's already arrived is in good spirits. Pilgrim Pete has already slid down a banister just behind me. And Brian McGlinchey, who is joining us this afternoon on Argyle TV. And speak of the devil, here he is. Pete, Argyle TV, not the same without you. Nice banister slide a moment ago. Right, so back to you, Brian.
Yep.
How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, good. Brian, the size of the crowd today, I think it's the biggest we've seen this season for sure. Does the size of the crowd reflect on, the performance that Argyle's been putting in this season?
Yeah, 100%. I think this city appreciates good football, and I think they're seeing it. It's been a long time coming. The club's definitely on the right sort of trajectory going forward, and the performances on the pitch have been brilliant, and I think the crowd will give the players a massive lift today. Yeah,
and what will it be like for the players, both Argyle and Ipswich, coming out to a crowd of this size this afternoon?
Well, for me personally, I think it'll give them that extra edge. It'll give them that extra 5-10%. It helps you just, it motivates you. As a professional footballer, you want to play in front of big crowds. That's what you sort of live and breathe for, is big crowds, big atmospheres. So the players will definitely enjoy it, and they'll embrace it, and we'll give them that extra kick, I think.
Yeah, we were saying before we both came on air that we were hoping the weather would last out. It has just started to rain here at Home Park, but hopefully that'll clear up in a moment. What would it mean for Argyle in particular to win today in front of a home crowd so big?
I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to just say it's another 3 points, because I think that's what the manager would say, to be honest. But for me, it would be a massive confidence. I think the team have showed that they can compete with most teams in this division. Yeah. This team are on the right, Ipswich are on the right vein of form, aren't they? So it will be a real message, I think, to the rest of the teams out there that Argyle can get a victory today. Yeah. And I expect them to get a victory, to be honest. I think the pitch will be brilliant. I think the bit of rain we're getting now will help Argyle with their passing game. Yes. So yeah, I'm expecting a victory today. Hopefully
we won't see as much rain as we saw on the last game, although it does feel like the heavens have opened. My iPad's going to be broken in a minute. How impressed have you been with Ryan Lowe, and how is he managing the rising expectations?
I think he's done brilliant. I think he's not getting too down when things aren't going that well. That maybe the odd performance was not up to the standard, but he's not getting too upbeat when things are going well. So I think he's keeping a real balanced view on things, and he's keeping his team's feet fairly on the ground. So it's hard to concentrate here.
It's very hard. I mean, look, I can back.
But to be fair, I think he's done a cracking job, to be honest. I think fair play to him. I think he's definitely keeping his team in a real sort of right frame of mind to get results on the pitch.
Should we take in turns putting our hoods up? I feel that is a nice sensible interlude to have. For those of you watching Argyle TV online, you've picked a sensible option. Although typically it feels like the rain's starting to ease off now. I'm trying to get the hood out. See if we can protect the iPad a little bit. We'll be having a look at team news as well in a second. Okay, you're sticking no hood, are you? I can pick. Do you want me to put your hood up?
I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm Irish. I'm hard as nails.
Oh, see, I'm not. Right. Okay. Let's carry on with what we were talking about on my absolutely drenched iPad here. I think we'll have a little look at the team news for a moment, just give us a chance to compose ourselves. We'll bring that up on the screen. So let's run through everyone that is in the starting lineup for Argyle today. In goal, of course, Michael Cooper in the number 1 shirt. We also have James Wilson, Dan Scarr, Ryan Broom, Captain Joe Edwards, Ryan Hardy, Connor Grant. Let me just fold a soggy piece of paper over to continue with our lineup. Adam Randall is on the starting lineup this afternoon as well, alongside Brendan Galloway, Panucci Kamara and Luke Jeffcott. So that is all available on your screen a moment ago for you to have a little look at there. Okay, well, what are we making of the team then so far, Brian? Because like I mentioned, Adam is making his starting appearance for Argyle this afternoon.
You know, obviously the suspension with Houghton, you know, Adam's come in and I think it's a great opportunity for him. I've watched him a lot last year on loan to Torquay and that was great for him for his confidence and his experience. And shows a lot of confidence the manager's got him and as well giving him an opportunity today. And I think he deserves it. You know, I think he's one of those players that he's very similar to Houghton in the sense that he'll want the ball under pressure. He's not scared to get on the ball, and that'll be needed today because Argyle want to play through the lines. That's the way they do. They like to get the ball down and play it, and he'll be instrumental in that. I think for me, great to see Broom back in the side. I think for me, Broom, you know, don't get me wrong, Mayer's a fantastic player. Mayer did great last week, but Broom gives us that running in behind, and that stretches teams and gives people like Grant more space on the left-hand side because fullbacks tuck in and different things. So I think Broom's definitely, I think that's great to see him back in the side. Yeah,
and one of the other things probably standing out from that lineup is the lack of Jordan Houghton, who's not there. So do you think there's going to be a difference not seeing him?
I think they will miss him. I think he's been a real sort of consistent performer all season. But as I say, you've got Randall coming in, and it's up to him to take his opportunity. And that's what the squad's all about. You want competition for places, and Randall's got to make sure that he plays well and keeps his shirt for the next game. And that's the mentality, and that's the type of spirit you need within the group because that just drives everyone on and gives you that edge.
Yeah, and Argyle's defence has been particularly good so far this season, but Ipswich, are pretty good scorers, aren't they?
Yeah, the top goal scorers in the league. Yeah, so let's hope it's a good game to watch. But Argyle, it's definitely been brave defensively at home. They've sort of played man for man at the back, and that's brave. They're really going for their attacking sort of prowess going forward. So yeah, they've got to be on their toes today because Ipswich are a threat. But for me, it's all about what Argyle do, and I'm sure that's the message the manager's given. We've got to treat them with respect, but actually just show what we're all about, and I think they'll do that.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Brian. Let's have a little look at a VT next to give me and Brian a little chance to shake some of the rain off. We're going to be looking at James Wilson. He's been one of the signings that's done very well so far this season. He joined the club, in fact, after winning Ipswich's Player of the Season the last time he was here. So let's see if he's looking forward to playing against his old team.
It's like any other game. There's plenty of teams that I've played against that I've played for before, so that doesn't really affect me. I think there's a massive change there. I don't know a lot of the boys now, even from last season, so it's no different to any other game for me, really.
Right, so the gaff hasn't come down for a scouting mission from Mr. James Wilson and to see what they could be like.
Well, no, I think I'll speak to them later about a few of the boys that I do know, definitely, but not really, no.
You had a good season. I mean, you player of the season last season at Ipswich. What were your memories of playing there?
I really enjoyed playing there, to be honest. First year was great. Obviously, the fans were still in then. We didn't achieve what we wanted to, and then it rolled into the next season. Really, we started okay, but then it fell away again. Poor at some points in the season. Manager changed, owners changed. A massive change for everyone, so no, I really enjoyed my time.
I think we're going to be close to a sellout for the first time in a very, very long time here, which it kind of shows how well you guys are doing at the minute, doesn't it? That these fans want to come in and pay their money and watch.
Yeah, we've got to keep it up. I mean, last week we all know we weren't really good enough, so we've got a point to prove this week in front of the fans. So, but yeah, it's great. They've got a sellout coming as well. So. And they were good fans. They were really good fans, so it should be a really good atmosphere.
I like what you've just said there, and what we saw on social media and heard after the game against Morecambe, that you kind of all understood it wasn't quite bang on A game, but you still come away with a draw, and you still end up top of the table. The run keeps going. It's kind of shows a bit of steeliness and that determination, doesn't it?
Yeah, hopefully that's what we've got, and we're going to need loads of that this season. The longer it goes on, we're going to need there's going to be loads of games like that where we don't play well. We've got to try and pick up points, and I think we were fortunate at times on Saturday, but then we were unlucky not to score as well. So no, I think we've got a bit between our teeth this weekend, definitely.
Take us inside that dressing room then, because it must be sky high.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere. It always is when you're winning and doing well, but we just got to keep our feet on the ground. I think that no one isn't, to be honest. It's a great atmosphere. The change room's full of really good boys, so I don't think there's any fear in that changing. Is
this one of the best change rooms you've been in, do you think?
Yeah, it's great. At the moment, it's been brilliant. Everyone gets on. There's some really good characters in there, so it's a perfect blend. Yeah.
And looking at the defensive unit as well as a whole, it's worked really well. You're all brand new to the club as well, which is kind of it's a bit of a contrast in terms, isn't it? You normally think it could take a while to gel, but the 3 of you, the 4 of you with Macca in there as well, and Coop seem to be doing really well.
Yeah, I think that's more down to the staff and the way they set us up. I think everyone knows their jobs, so it makes it so much easier. If you're put together and you don't know what you're doing, it's going to be a shambles. But if you put together quickly, but everyone makes sure they know what they're doing, then there's no reason why, if you've got okay players, there's no reason why it shouldn't work.
And it's also worked in the sense that when you haven't played, when you have concussion, Macca comes in. When Brendan hasn't played, you kind of can fit quite nicely across different roles.
That's what you need as well. The longer the season goes, we're going to get injuries, we're going to get people out. We've got bolts coming back to fit into that as well. So we're going to be stronger, I think, as the season goes on, hopefully.
I didn't want to bring this up, but I think you're one of the only. You and Macca haven't scored in the defensive unit.
Right.
It's a good time to do it, though, eh?
No, it'd be great. Yeah, I love to get a goal. I usually get at least one a season. So
the quota.
Yeah, I've got a fair way to go, but we'll see.
Welcome back. You are watching Argyle TV. Now, as I mentioned at the start of this segment, today's match will be done in memory of Paul Mariner, an Argyle legend who also played for Ipswich Town. And speaking of Argyle legends who also played for Ipswich Town, I am joined by David Norris this afternoon. David, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for that intro.
You arrived just at the right time as well. You've almost missed the rain shower.
I know. I just got done a bit then, but at least it's stopped now.
What's it like being here at Argyle this afternoon for you?
It's nice. It's great for me. Come back. I had a strong affiliation with the club and the fans, so I've done the rounds a little bit, and it's been really nice for me. But to come back and see the new stand all up, and it's going to be a good crowd in. It's going to be a really good, enjoyable day.
Yeah, and in particular, this game quite poignant because, as we mentioned, we've got the tribute to Paul Mariner. Now, you didn't play under him, but I'm sure you're aware of his legacy at both clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you said, I didn't know him too well, but obviously I knew of him when I was here, and then obviously when I was at Ipswich, and then obviously he came back to manage here. So, yeah, I'm well aware of just what a legend he is at both clubs as well, by the way. So. It'll be nice. It'll be a nice tribute. They're doing a tribute night tomorrow to him as well, so that'll be really nice, which I'm going to attend as well. But I think it'll be nice for both clubs to show their gratitude to just what he did for both.
Yeah, absolutely. So over to you in particular then. What are you up to at the moment since obviously not being at Argyle anymore?
Yeah. So at the minute I'm still playing semi-professional at Lancaster at the minute. I think I just done my 700th competitive game, so that was nice. And then I'm personal training. I was always, obviously as a player, fitness was my game. I probably wasn't the technically the best, but I was fit and strong, and I was into that stuff. So I've carried that on, and now I personal train general public footballers, and I've just started picking up quite a few boxers.
Yeah, wow. I mean, you've got a lot of experience to pull from in doing that as well. Being back here at Home Park, like you said, it's nice to be back. There must be so many memories that you have from playing here with your teammates. Are there any particular moments from your career at Argyle that stand out to you that you still think of today? Yeah,
I think the standout one would obviously be getting promoted and winning the league at that time. It was a big season for us. It was a tough season. We lost Paul Sturrock along the way. We thought we were going to blow it, and we managed to keep on track. And when we beat QPR here to actually be promoted, that was a memory that it gives me goosebumps now just talking about it and thinking about it. So that's a standout. I had many. I mean, I was lucky enough, that I won a couple of Player of the Year awards, and we had a couple of good mini cup runs. So there was many, but I think that getting promoted was a standout.
Yeah. Do you see any similarities in your team, the promotion team, to the team that we're looking at today?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, speaking to the fans, today, they're saying to me that it feels like that's the closest it's been since we had the success we did. And I think it's not just the quality of players. I think it's the closeness the team seem to have. They seem to have a real togetherness, and it looks like they've got that which is good, and that will carry them a long way. And that's why they're in the position they're in at the minute.
Yeah. And of course, we've got Ipswich as the opposition this afternoon, a team which you've also played for. When teams like this come together, do you ever feel like slightly conflicted on who to support?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends who's asking the question of who's going to win, and I'll decide what I'm going to say off the back of that. I've pretty much sat on the fence today, and like I say, of all the clubs I've played for, there's probably only 2 or 3 that I'm a bit more closer to and have a lot more affinity to, and both of these two will be in that, as probably along with Portsmouth. So I do have a genuine, closeness to both. And so for me, yeah, I'd be happy. I'd take a draw today. Sensible option.
With Ipswich here as well, it must be. I mean, do you feel like, I know you've said a draw, but Argyle, of course, top of the league at the moment, but Ipswich are also doing very well. Do you think it will be a close game?
Yeah, I do now. I mean, you asked me a few weeks ago. I think Plymouth might have been a bit more comfortable, but Ipswich are starting to turn it around now. They've been on a little bit of a good run, some good results in that as well, some big results. So I think this is going to be a real good one. 2 teams probably at the top of their game at the minute, and so I'm hoping and expecting a good game.
Yeah, being familiar with both teams, what would you say are strengths and weaknesses of both, and what each side needs to look out for, do you think?
Well, like I say, I think Plymouth just seem to be in the groove at the minute. They've been on a long run unbeaten now, and so they'll know a certain way of playing. Their confidence will be up. They'll be riding that crest of being on a good run, where Ipswich have just started to turn it around. It took a little while. They had to find their feet, get their relationships on the pitch right, and they're turning it around now, so their confidence will be high as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose home park itself will have probably changed a little bit since you were here playing. I mean, we've obviously had the development of the new grandstand behind us. Is this where you're going to be watching the game from this afternoon?
Yes, I'll be up in that stand there. That was, funnily enough, that was a stand that I was promised when I signed would be developed within the first couple of years, back about 15, 18 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
But it is good to see it done.
Yeah.
It's a great setup now. It's going to be a full house, which will make a massive difference. I mean, when we used to get the crowds back like these sort of numbers are coming in today, it makes a big difference. And if they can start well, you'll feel the real force of the fans. Yeah, it must be. I suppose, do you maybe have like conflicting feelings about sitting up there and watching the team play, and obviously not being part of it yourself? I suppose, what's that like? Not playing for the team. I'm getting better at it. Yeah. I struggled a lot at first. I was just itching. I can still play. I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable with it and just enjoy it for what it is. But yeah, I still miss it. I'd love to get out there. A chance to get out there today would be unbelievable. But yeah, I'm a bit more okay with it now. Yeah, and I bet the fans as well is something Argyle is pretty renowned for. I mean, what is it like seeing the stadium sold out, which I believe it is now, 16,000 we've got in today. That must be really nice to see. Yeah, it's so good, and they're a passionate bunch. Football's big for this city. So for Plymouth to start doing well, to get the fans in and get them on side, it's huge, and they'll make a big difference. When we first got promoted to the Championship and our crowd jumped from 9 to 12,000 up to 17, 18, it made a huge difference, and I think they'll play their part. Yeah, and the current squad that we've got at the moment, do you get an opportunity to interact with them? Do you know any of them personally? Have you seen kind of their careers develop over recent years? Yeah, I mean, I follow a little bit more than other clubs, but to be honest, I don't know too many of these. I think that generation is just starting to slip, but I follow the results. I look at the formations and who's playing regularly and who's scoring goals, but I don't know any of them too well personally. No, are there any players that you've kind of just seen that stand out particularly to you over kind of recent games? Yeah, no, not really. No, I think it's just I think that, like I say, I think it's the team spirit they've got at the minute, and I think that they're all doing their own bit, so I don't want to single anyone out who's probably standing out a bit, because of at times I was that player that might not have been standing out but was hopefully doing my part, and so I think that's what they're doing at the minute. I think as a team they've got it right. Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us, David. There's obviously a good luck omen because the sun's been shining since you've been on Argyle TV. So feel free just to linger around in the area so we can keep the weather going. David Norris here with us this afternoon. So one of the main talking points as well today on Argyle's team news is Jordan Houghton being suspended, which means that Adam Randall is now having his first start in a league game for the club. And it has been quite a journey for the 21-year-old.
So I was in it was the Centre of Excellence, what was it before then? Development Centre.
That's it, yeah.
When I was 9, I think, and then stepped up to the Centre of Excellence at the time, which is now the Academy. I think I was under 10s, and that was a relatively big jump, and then sort of stayed in the Academy throughout, and into the first team. I just loved it. Every day training, I just really enjoyed it. Obviously it was in my mind to keep improving and be as good as I could be, but I think the main thing for me was to just keep enjoying it and keep loving what I do. It's a lot of commitment from not only me but the people around me, parents. Everyone always says it, the parents need to take you to training. Thankfully, obviously I live in Plymouth, so compared to a lot of others, I was better off in that respect, didn't have to travel as far. But it was still quite a lot of travelling, away days and things on a Sunday, getting my dad up at 5 AM to drop me in and things like that. It's a lot of commitment, but it's all worth it. I love looking at my shirt on the side and seeing my name on the back of it especially. It's something like you always thought of as being, everyone growing up who wants to be a footballer wants their name on the back of a shirt. And to see it hung up in a nice changing room like that one with everyone else's is really a nice sight. Well, obviously the gaffer gives young players chances and that's vital. If you've got a manager that doesn't want to give chances, then you're never going to make it, are you? But no, it is important to know that, like I say, it's possible to get there. You want to know that you're not just going to be sort of pushed to the side, you'll be involved. If you work hard and you're good enough, you'll be involved. Like, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, it is really weird. I think it's weird, especially watching them out on the pitch, essentially doing what I want to be doing. Still, it's strange. I am jealous of them, but no, I'm really happy for them. They're all good lads, obviously. I haven't got a bad word to say about any of them, but I'm buzzing for them. I love it when, like, Lawsy scored the other day. Everyone was going mental. We all went up to the end of the game. It's a good group. I want to be the captain of Argyle for as many games as possible, playing in the league, playing consistently, take us to the champ, and score a few goals.
We are back now with former Pilgrims defender Brian McGlinchey. A quick word on Adam Bryan. What do you think it says about him that Ryan Lowe trusts him to start in a game like this?
Yeah, I think that's, amazing belief in what he's done. Obviously, he's seen him in training every day, and he's obviously watched him on loan last year. A lot of experience playing. He actually played every game for Turkey last year on loan, and he played numerous different positions as well, which is good for his football education. This will be a different level for him today, but I think he can handle it. I said earlier that he's one of those players that wants to get on the ball and he's not scared. Even if someone's closing him down, he'll still want the ball, which is a sign of a real sort of quality player. And fingers crossed for him, it goes well, and hopefully he puts in a really good performance.
Yeah. What in particular do you like about the style of game that he plays and how he gels with kind of his older teammates?
Well, he's exactly the way Ryan Lowe wants to play. Ryan Lowe wants to play the ball from through the lines, not play it long quite quickly. He wants to play it through the midfield and then go wide. And that's what he's good at. He's good at getting the ball and turning, and his awareness is very good and finding those spaces. So that's what he's got to be good at. And he's got a tough sort of shoes to fill in the sense of Houghton being out, but that's what he's there to do, and hopefully he can do that.
Yeah, well, like you said, hopefully he gets a good game in today. I'm sure it's going to be one that he'll remember. Thank you again, Brian. We want to hear from you as well this afternoon, those of you watching, so you can get in touch with us on social media. Twitter is the best one because that's the only account that they trust me to have the details to. If you want to get in touch, it is @only1argyle. Find us on Twitter, send us a tweet. We are, of course, also on Facebook as well, Plymouth Argyle FC, and we will read the best comments live at half-time, and I'll be keeping an eye on them during the first half. So we are now almost exactly half an hour away from kick-off here at Home Park. It is a 3 p.m. start for Argyle against Ipswich, and you are watching Argyle TV. And it's not just the men that are playing Ipswich Town this weekend. Argyle women are taking the Blues on here at Home Park in the FA Women's National League. Joining us now on Argyle TV are goalkeeper Poppy Soper and wingback Ellen Thomas. Afternoon to you both. Welcome to Argyle TV.
Hello, nice to be here.
Okay, so I see you guys are nice and dry as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So let's, can I just get you both to introduce yourselves to the Argyle TV audience for maybe those that,
Hi, I'm Ellen and I'm the wing back.
Fantastic.
And I'm Poppy and I'm the goalkeeper.
Lovely. Okay, very nice. So we got two different positions here. First of 3 games at Home Park. How have you been getting on this season?
Yeah, so it's been more about just getting the team together this season. So myself, I'm a new recruit, and we've done well with the recruitment over the summer. So yeah, we're currently sitting sort of at the middle, and it's been pretty tough at times. But we've acknowledged that, and we're looking to move forward as a stronger squad the more we gel.
Yeah. So how recently have you signed for Argyle Women then?
It was actually the start of the season.
Okay.
So yeah, myself and Gemma Rose, we moved from Fulham to now play for Argyle, where we're actually here permanently now. Yeah. So yeah.
And what's the verdict on Plymouth then? How are you enjoying it so far?
Oh yeah, it's very different to London, but you know what? I love it. What an ocean city. So yeah, it's been a nice change.
Yeah.
It's been nice.
And Poppy, how good are Ipswich? How are you feeling about the game that's coming up?
I'm excited. It should be a good match. They are top of the league currently. We've had a tough start to the season, so we are prepared for this because we've been playing some of the top teams so far. So we've had good experience coming into this, so it should be a good game, yeah.
And there should be quite a good crowd as well for you guys. Is that something that you're going to be looking forward to?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like playing in front of a crowd really just adds to the occasion. Obviously playing here is occasion in itself, but having quite a lot of fans here as well should really make it a good day.
I suppose it gives you both a little bit more exposure as well to maybe people that aren't used to seeing you play.
Yeah, most definitely. And it'd be great to have as many people there, even if they haven't had that opportunity. It's one of the 3, so hopefully we can start off really strong.
Yeah. What do you think the benefits are playing at Home Park compared to where you usually play?
Just most importantly, really sharing the same ground and facilities as the men's team as well. I think that it does have a statement from the club that we both play at the same ground, and it's going to be a monumentous occasion in terms of who we are playing.
Yeah.
So there's no better team that we want to be playing
at
Home Park than top of the table Ipswich, especially in conjunction with the men's team today.
Yeah, and I'll ask you both this question, but starting with you, Poppy. Women's football, do you think it's kind of starting to get a little bit more mainstream compared to how it used to be? We've obviously had the Women's World Cup in recent years, which seemed to be a lot more popular than before.
Definitely. I feel like it's really picking up now. Like games like this, like they wouldn't happen before. We wouldn't be playing at the men's stadium. Like it's really exciting to be part of, and I can't wait for it to just keep going.
Yeah, and do you think it's important that as women you're getting this kind of recognition and being pushed more towards the mainstream so people see you too?
Most importantly, just in terms of where both teams are, and especially for the Plymouth community, I think that's something that I've noticed, especially moving down here, is that it's just so lovely to see that this is essentially now one Argyle. So yeah, I think that's really important as well from a community and a women's aspect.
Yeah, I mean that is one of the selling points of Argyle, isn't it? The whole only one Argyle
exactly,
thing. Yeah. In terms of your game, what would you say to people that are watching Argyle TV at the moment who might be thinking about coming to see you tomorrow? Why should they come down and check you guys out?
I think most importantly, it's just a really exciting time to come and watch the girls. Like I mentioned, we've had some really good recruits over the summer, and we've seen the return of Gemma Rose as well, who's ex-Arsenal and ex-England, and of course we have Poppy as well, who's been called up for international a couple of times. So in terms of standard and just general atmosphere, there's no time better to watch the women at the moment.
Yeah. Poppy, tell me a little bit about your international call-up then.
Well, I've just got back actually. I had a training camp last week, so we played Slovenia, So travelled there, that was good, got a good point away from home. And then Estonia at home in Cardiff, which was great. Big turnout, we had a record crowd, which again showing the growth of women's football.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really great to be part of the team and a great experience again.
And then finally from you as well, what would you say to the people watching for your game tomorrow and why they should come and check you out?
The performances we've put on this year, they've been incredible. We haven't got the results that we've needed or that we've wanted, but the performance is there. So I think coming to watch us tomorrow, we're going to put on a show. It's going to be a great match. So
yeah. Well, thank you both so much for joining us on Argyle TV this afternoon. A little bit windy today. The weather's not been the one, but it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you, Ellen and Poppy there, and good luck for tomorrow as well.
Thank you.
Women's manager Ryan Perks, who I did see, he's over there, there he is. He's actually been speaking to Daniel Newton ahead of tomorrow's game, so let's have a look at that now.
Girls apply themselves at every session in the right manner, and we work on different things each week. Yeah, the result didn't go our way. We created lots of chances, just wasn't clinical in the final third. So yeah, we just need to rectify that this weekend, and hopefully we can get a result against Ipswich.
And this weekend's game has been played at Home Park. It's the first of 3 games there this season. How kind of important is that for the girls and the team?
Yeah, it's massive for the girls. It's a great opportunity to showcase women's football in the South West again, to follow on from Devon Derby a couple of weeks ago at Exeter. Yeah, it's great that the club are getting behind women's football and giving the girls the opportunity to play at Home Park, hopefully in front of a big crowd.
And looking at Ipswich specifically, what are you kind of expecting from them?
Yeah, we know it's going to be a tough game. Ipswich have had a great start to the season. They've obviously played 9-1-9, sitting top of the league. So we've had a little bit of an analysis session, watch what their strengths and weaknesses are, and hopefully we can exploit those weaknesses and get the result on the weekend.
And tickets for tomorrow's game are available from the Home Park ticket office or from argyletickets.com if you want to buy them online. Season ticket holders can get theirs for just £5, otherwise it's £8 for an adult and £3 for an under 18. Let's turn our attention to Ipswich Town now. Brian McGlinchey is back alongside me for this. They had a slow start to the season, but they have picked up form and they remain unbeaten in their last 4 league games. They beat Fleetwood Town last weekend, and here are the best bits. A last-minute goal from Basanchelina there gave them that win. What are your thoughts on the Ipswich team that we've got playing Argyle today?
I think they've got off to a slow start. I think they've had a lot of new owners that come in, new manager came in around April of last year, and they've a lot of turnover of players. The last 4 or 5 games have been really picked up. They're a real threat. You know, Baughan up front, scored 10 goals, I believe, this year. I think the captain, Morsley's a good player from Middlesbrough as well. So they've got a lot of quality, to be honest, and they're probably one of the favourites to go up. You know, you looked at the start of the season, and I think the reading about Paul Cook at the start of the season, I think he was surprised how slow it took them to get going.
Yeah.
And I think they've got going now. So as I said, this will be a big test for Argyle, and if they can get through this test, this will be a big statement for them.
Fantastic. I think we've got the team graphic as well for those of you that want to have a little look at the Ipswich team that are playing today. If you want to have a little look through that, you can now. Brian, last question to you then. What are your predictions for the outcome of this game? Not necessarily goal-wise, but just in terms of what we'll see.
We've got the highest goal scorers in Ipswich. We score a lot of goals at home. I think defensively we're probably stronger, so I'm hoping this could be a good game of football for one. 2 good teams playing the right way. Hopefully a good result for Argyle, and I think there'll be goals today.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Brian. I will leave you to enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you for joining us on Argyle TV. Let's have a very quick look at some of the other games that are happening around League One this afternoon. We have Cambridge v AFC Wimbledon, Charlton v Doncaster, Cheltenham take on Sheffield Wednesday, Crewe against MK Dons, Fleetwood versus Wickham, Gillingham versus Accrington, Lincoln against Shrewsbury, Oxford against Morecambe, Portsmouth v Bolton, Rotherham v Sunderland, and finally Wigan against Burton. We're going to be keeping you updated with all these games throughout the match, so join me at half-time where we will see how everyone is faring in the league. Just before we hand you back over to Rob and Brian in a very noisy Home Park Stadium this afternoon, just wanted to let you know that we are delighted to say we have teamed up with food order and delivery service Uber Eats for the 21-22 campaign. They are going to be joining the club as an affiliate partner and will sponsor our all-new pre-match quiz on the official Argyle app, as well as the brand new Moment of the Month feature on the club's social media channels and Argyle TV. So to kick off that partnership, Argyle fans can download the app and you will receive £10 off your first order when you spend a minimum of £15. All you got to do is use the code Argyle10 when you're ordering. And that's it from me at the moment. We are almost ready to go. So just a reminder that if you are watching on YouTube, make sure that you head over to Argyle TV, and if you're watching abroad as well in particular, head over to Argyle TV and you will be able to watch the game online there. If you are a UK based fan, commentary of the game will be available on our website too. Lots of applause happening around the stadium. The sprinklers are on. The team are coming back behind me now to get ready for 3 p.m. kickoff, so I will hand over to Rob and Brian to take you through the first half of the game. You are watching Argyle TV. Thank you very much.
Welcome everybody to Home Park Stadium for tonight's game, this afternoon's game. In fact, let me correct myself one more time. Welcome to a virtually sold out Home Park Stadium for this afternoon's game. How nice is that to hear? There is no more tickets to be sold in any of the Argyle ends, and also the Ipswich contingent is very, very solid as well. It is wonderful to see Home Park in such a way, and I realise that you're listening to this and actually you can't be with us, but I hopefully will be able to convey the